Hello, good morning dear students. Once again welcome back to plus 2 Python class. In the previous classes we were discussed about function definition, function call, passing of parameters, arguments, then passing of list, arrays, etc. Today we can discuss about scope of variables. Scope of variables. You know the meaning of scope and variables. When we declare a variable inside a program, we can't access that variable to entire part of that particular program. Did you understand what I say? There is some restrictions and limitations. Based on that, these variables are mainly divided into two types, global and local. That limitations or that restrictions are known as scope of a variable. If we are declaring a variable inside a program, there is some restrictions and limitations for accessing that program. Based on that, it is again divided into global and local. Okay. If we are declaring a variable at the top of that program or in interpreter of that program, it will be accessible for every part of that particular program. That is called global. Okay, that means we can access that variable globally. But in the case of local variable, when we declare a local variable, it will be only accessible of that particular function. Local variables will declare only inside the function. Did you understand what I say? Global variable we can declare at the top of the program. We can access that variable every part of the program. But in the case of local variable, we can declare that variable only inside the function. It will be accessible only for that particular function. Okay, we can explain with one example. A equal to 2. The value of A is assigned as 2. Then def of f of x. We defined a function f of x. Then y equal to x plus a. Then return y. Here the value of a is assigned as 2. Then def f of x. That means f of x is defined here. In this case, a equal to 2, which is declared at the top of this function. A equal to 2 is declared at the beginning of this program. So, this A will be available in the any part of the program. That means this A can access any part of this program. Why? Because A equal to 2 is declared as globally. A is a global variable. Okay, did you understand what I say? We can access this A to any part of this program. But here one x is there, f of x, function name. This variable x is only applicable for this function. It is only applicable for this function, so it will be a local variable. In this case, this is an expression. This expression is defined within this function. Actually, this expression is defined within this function. Which function? F of x. Def f of x. Within that function, there is an expression y equal to x plus a. Here, y and x, these two variables are known as local variable. These two variables are local variables. But this A, it is a global variable. We already declared this A as a global variable. So it will be applicable, or we can access this A, we can use this A in any part of this program. So for A, or for this variable, there is no restrictions and limitations, but this X and Y we can use only within this program, within this function. Okay, this X and Y is limited with this function f of x. Here Y, return Y, this is also a local variable, because which is defined within this function. It is declared within this function. So this X, Y, these two variables are local variables, because which is defined within this function f of x. But A is a global variable which is declared at the top of this program, or in the interpreter of that program. In interpreter, it is defined in interpreter. So it is known as global variable. We can access this A, or we can access this variable A to any part of this entire program. That's why we are calling these variables are local and global. Okay, next we can discuss about main function. In the case of C language or C++ language, main function is compulsory. Okay, main function is compulsory. But in the case of Python programming language, main part or main function is not compulsory. Okay, we can explain with one example. Here, did you see there is an image, def hello, then it will end with colon, then print hello world, then def main, print this is the main function, then hello, that means function call. We already defined a function at the top, hello, then that function is called to here in this main function. After that there is another function called, that means main function call. What is its output? First it will print the sentence, this is the main function. That means that sentence we defined within main function. Okay, after that hello world will print. First this is the main function will print, then hello world will print. How it is possible? At the last there is a function called main. When we call that main function, first print part, that means that statement within that main function will execute first. This is the main function. Did you see there is a print, this is the main function. That statement will execute and we will get the result, this is the main function. That means that same sentence will print in the output part. Okay, then within that main function there is one more function call. At the last we called main function. When we call that main function will work. This is the main function will print first. After that there is a function called hello. When we call that hello, which one will work? First function hello, define hello, that function part will work. Okay, when execution, during the execution of that hello part, which statement will execute? Print hello comma world, that part will execute. So finally we will get the result as this is the main function, then in the next line hello world. Did you understand what I say? First hello part is defined, within that there is a statement, then main function is defined, within that there is a statement, this is the main function, then hello call, that previous defined hello called to here. Then finally main function also called. Which one will execute first? Main function will execute first. Main part will execute first. Okay, when we call that main function at the last of this program, what will happen? That print part, this is the main function, that print part will work, it will execute. So we will get the result. This is the main function, and within that main function there is another function called hello, and when we call that hello part, that first statement print hello comma world will execute, and we will get the result. This is the main function. Within then after that hello world. Okay, that means main function will execute first when we using a main function. In the case of Python programming language, it is not mandatory. This main function is not mandatory, but the main advantage is when we using this main function, it can structure our Python programs in a logical way that puts the most important components of the program into one function. It is used for structuring our Python programs in a logical way. Then we can discuss another example. Did you see? Define area rectangle within parenthesis length comma breadth equal to 1. Length comma breadth equal to 1. That means the value of breadth is assigned as 1. Then parameter length also declared there in that function name area rectangle. After that, did you see some green text are there? You don't bother about that part because it is comments, it is given as description. Okay. After that, area equal to length into breadth equation, area equal to length into breadth. You know the equation for finding area of a rectangle. Then return area. Okay. After that, we can define a main function. Then again some green text are there. After that, print enter the following values for rectangle. If you want to find out area of a rectangle, first we want to give length and breadth. Then length rect equal to int of input length integer value. You know that if you want to find out sum of two values, first we can give num1 equal to int of input, enter the first value, then num2 equal to int input, enter the second value, like that. Here our aim is to get length and breadth, so you can give length rect equal to int of input length integer value, breadth rect equal to int of input of breadth integer value. Then area rect equal to area rectangle of length rect comma breadth rect. Here we used two arguments, length rect and breadth rect, but in that function definition we used length and breadth. That length rect and breadth rect will pass into that length and breadth during the calculation. Okay, finally print the area of rectangle is comma area rect. Okay, area rect means area. Did you understand what I say? At the top we used the area equal to length into breadth. Here area rect equal to area rectangle within parenthesis length rect comma breadth rect. Okay, that length breadth will length rect will act as length, breadth rect will act as breadth, and finally we will get the result as area equal to length into breadth. Okay, then did you see if num equal to main function call? That means if name equal to main, this main part will execute. Did you understand what I said? Here if name equal to main, the function name equal to main function, which one will execute? That main function will execute. Okay, that's why we are getting this area of a rectangle. We can move to that output part. Please look into that output part. What is the first sentence? Enter the following value for rectangle. Length integer value 50, breadth integer value 30. Area of rectangle is 1500. That means length into breadth. Okay, here function name is main. If the name of function is main, that main part will execute. Input enter length, input enter breadth. That means user can or programmer can give length and breadth to the program, and area rect equal to area rectangle of length rect comma breadth rect. Then print area of a rectangle is area rect. That means we already given area equal to length into breadth. It will calculate area of a rectangle. Okay, length rect and breadth rect will pass to length and breadth. Finally we will get the result as 550 into 30, 1500. Okay, this is another example for main function. Okay, anyway, today we can wind up our class. We already discussed the different properties of function and all in this chapter. This chapter is over. Next class onwards we can start another chapter. Okay, you please go through it, kindly go through it. If you have any queries, please call me. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.